Radio check. Hello and welcome. Tonight, I relay some news. I got it. CFII. Woo! And now I finally have the ability to get hired as an instructor. Now, who isn't already full of instructors right now? I don't know. But we're still going to try and find a job. But passed my check ride this last Thursday, and it feels really good to finally have that done and move on with the actual flying career. So tonight is a celebration stream. We're just doing a good old Southwest flight from Houston Hobby to Phoenix, Arizona, and kind of wish that I had done the reverse flight because the weather here at Houston Hobby is looking pretty crappy. We've got low visibility, a bunch of fog hanging around the airport, about a quarter-mile visibility. That would have been fun to shoot an ILS and land here. But, you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So we're going to depart in low weather conditions, and we are looking a lot more clear over in Phoenix, and we will do the approach there and see what we can get ourselves into. All right. Going into the aircraft here. Oops, I am on the FMC page right here. Cool. All right. Let's get the battery on and try and get some lights up in here. We got to locate that battery first. It's pretty dark in here. I think I just about got it. Nope. Hey, there we go. All right, arm the emergency lights so we actually get some light. There we go. Cool. Let's get up here. Ooh, what the? Oh, I think the gate. Uh-oh. That's weird. Oh, boy. So, loading in the gate here, it seems that the jet bridge was inside of the aircraft, and I cannot see my overhead panel currently. So let's go to the FMC and get rid of the jet bridge, and we will just assume that the passengers are already boarded. Alright, the jetway's gone. Let's get the dome lights to dim. Look at that jet bridge go away there. That was very unfortunate. Wow. Very, very strange. Cool. So we're going to go down here. Landing gears down. Speed brakes are up. Flaps are up. Throttle's in idle position. And reverse thrusts are fully stowed. So we'll go up here and we'll start the APU and wait for that to turn on. Get that left forward fuel pump on as well for the APU. And that EGT is shooting up just how we want it. And it is slowly falling back down. We should have the APU gen available to us shortly. Hope it seems that I turned the battery on without guarding it. There we go. Alright, APU gen is available. Let's get those on. Oh. Let's get some panel lights on in here as well so we can actually see the buttons we're hitting and all of the knobs that we're turning. Cool. Got those up. And we will turn these lights on as well as these. Cool. Alright. We're going to flip these IRS knobs over to nav mode so they can begin aligning, and we will throw the IRS display into status mode. See how many minutes it takes to align. 7 minutes to align. Pretty standard now. Cool. Alright, all of our flight control and standby hydraulics, our standby stuff is in the closed and guarded position, which is good. Yaw damper is off for now. Navigation switches are all in normal. That's good to see. Displays are all auto and normal. That's good. Fuel pumps will stay how they are for now. Let's get this over to the APU gen page, and we are indicating positive charge. That's good. Standby power is in the auto and guarded position. Excellent. We have our APU gen on just where we want it. EGT is normal. We have panel lights and circuit breaker lights where we want it. Cool. Equipment cooling, that's all both in the normal position, just where we want it. Emergency lights are armed and guarded. Fasten seatbelt signs are coming on as people are on board. Testing our flight attendant button. And the ground call, we get audio. We'll turn the window heats on now. That's good. Probe heats stay off. Anti-ice can stay off. Hydraulic pumps can also stay off for now. Let's test the cockpit voice recorder. Cool. Cabin pressure indicating 0. That's good because we're on the ground. Voice recorder, auto, excellent. Everything temperature-wise is in the auto position. We have the APU bleed. We'll turn that on. We'll get the packs to auto so the passengers can get comfortable. Sitting at a solid 68 degrees, it looks like. That's good. Love to see it. Alright, we'll go down here. Our cruise altitude today is flight level 380, so we're going to put that in our pressurization panel. And then the landing altitude, according to our OFP, if I can speak, is 1135, so 1150. Right there, cool. So Phoenix is a little bit higher on the field elevation, that's okay. The pressurization stuff is in the auto mode, that's good. We'll get the logo lights on, and all of the other lights can stay off for now. Go to the upper panel right here, test the flap lights. Looking good. 5 minutes for the IRSs to align. Our IRS knobs are in nav mode, love to see it. Knobs and switches up here, good. The engine lights are extinguished. Crew oxygen is above 18, that's good. Passenger oxygen, normal and guarded. Flight recorder, normal and guarded. Testing the Mach airspeed. Both sides alert. And number 1 stall test is good, but number 2 we'll have to test later. That's fine. Go to our autopilot panel here. Let's see if we have anyone online yet. We do not. Cool. So, excuse me. So we're just going to put our climb speed straight to 250. We're not going to waste any time getting into that climb here. We are following a departure procedure though, so we may want to just quick check that out. We got data from SimBrief here. Cool. Let's go to our departure, standard instrument departure, and we're doing the retire 8. That's what I'm thinking that you pronounce it on. And do we have any speed restrictions here? Let's take a quick peek. Anything weird for us initial climb? We do have an altitude. We want to be at above 560. Cool. Radar required. Alright, anything here? Airport elevation 46. So I'm just checking the notes, making sure there's nothing different to us. Top altitude is 16,000, but there is no ATC, so we'll go straight to cruise, which is fine. No speed restrictions, so yeah, 250 knots is just fine here. We're going to leave that as is. We're expecting runway 4, I believe. We'll look at the airport info here. Runway 4 is the... Well, both runways are same length. Let's check the winds over here. And they are 190, so we actually could take runway 22. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take runway 22. Winds are 190 at 5, so they're favoring 22. Let's go ahead and run that. So 22, we'll set the heading bug to runway heading. 220, cool. And again, no ATC online, so we're going to go straight to our cruise altitude of 38,000, flight level 380. Cool, and before I forget, I am going to set the altimeter, which is indicating 3005. Cool, 3005, that's good, that's correct. Everything across the autopilot's good, this page, alright. All of our DUs are in the normal position. We'll give our lights a test. Good. Looking good there. Looking good there on the left side, and on the right side all of our annunciations light up and we are good there. We'll get rid of the master caution just so it's not distracting. N1 set auto, speed ref auto, that's good. We will leave our MFD page on the system page for engine power. Fuel flow is on rate, that's fine. Flaps are up, auto brake is off. We have 3 greens for the landing gear. Hydraulic pressure we don't have yet. the hydraulic pumps are not going, and again the DUs on the right side are normal. That's good. Let's go ahead and turn these screens down so we're not blinding ourselves. Oop. And here we go with the scroll wheel again. Cool. And we'll do the same for the right side. Cool. Alright, now we can go to our FMC, and we're going to the FMC page, and we are going to position init. Our reference airport is Houston Hobby, Kilo Hotel, Oscar Uniform. We're going to put that there. Excellent. And we're going to go to our GPS left, copy those coordinates, and that is going to be our position set. Excellent. We're going to go to route. Houston is our origin, and we're going to Phoenix Sky Harbor, Kilo Papa Hotel X-Ray. Cool. And for the first time in a while, we beat our IRSs to the FMC, so that's unique. We'll clear that message right there. We are Southwest Air 4737. Put that in our flight number. Cool. We're going to go to our departures. Houston. We are on the Retire 8. And what transition are we on? We are on the Juliet Charlie Tango transition there, and we're taking off runway 22, and we'll throw that in there. Cool. Go to the route page, activate, execute. Nice. And then we will go to next page. And from Juliet Charlie Tango, we're going direct to Texas, I think that's trying to say. Tango, X-Ray, Sierra, Alpha, Sierra. I never know what to say for these waypoints or how to pronounce them. Then we got the Echo Lima Papa VOR. And then from there, we're taking an airway J50 50 on the left side here, and we're going to Alibi, Alpha Lima, India, Bravo Yankee. Cool. And then we're going direct to driver. Delta Romeo Romeo, Victor Romeo. And that is actually the transition into our arrival. So let's go ahead and throw that information in there. And the arrival is the Ping 1. And the driver transition right there. And we don't know what runway we're using yet, so we'll go ahead and execute it from here. We'll go to our legs page and verify there's no discontinuities, which there is not. I'm good with that. Cool. And let's go to the performance initial page. Cool. The gross weight will run the ramp weight, which is 140.2. Neat. Plan fuel, we're not putting any more fuel in, so that's good there. The reserves are 5.1. Cost index, it wants us to run cost index of 5. Alright, so we're going to be a little bit low on the cost index. That should make our climb speeds a little more normal. Cool. Top of climb winds are 310 at 44 knots. So 310 at 44. Excellent. Unable 280 knots at bunker. That's fine. We'll go ahead and clear that message. Cool. We'll go to the N1 limit here, and we'll do a little bit of performance data, a little takeoff. So we got the performance tool for us here. Takeoff, we're at the Houston Hobby. Runway ID is runway 22. And all of the information auto populates there. That's good. We'll import from the aircraft our weights and all of that. That's good. And we'll import the weather as well. And that matches. That looks good. Let's calculate. Cool. So we do get our V speeds. And we get our D rate, temps, and all of that stuff. So we are doing a flaps 5 takeoff. We're looking at how much runway do we need to take off here. That's the most important thing. Well, it'll get us up in the air. So trim is 4.89. So the temperature, we're going to put 44 degrees here. 44. And then we are going TO1, which is 89.5. That matches our calculations, so we're going to use that. Go to takeoff here. It's a flaps 5 takeoff. And verify that those V-speeds match 138, 139, and 144. They do, so let's go ahead and put them in. We'll put the CG and the trim here, and we're looking at 4.9 on the trim. And, yep, that matches. So 4.9, just before 5 on the trim, so right about there. That looks good to me. And we have our takeoff data set, which is looking good. Index, make sure everything else is good. Cool. Go to our legs page. I'm happy. I like where it is. So let's go to our throttle quadrant. Let's test our fault tests. We have lights. And let's do the overheat and fire. We have lights and bells. Our fire extinguisher test is looking good. All right, let's go down to the radio panel here. Everything is looking good from top left down. Everything is set where I want it. A little bit of floodlight here so we can see. Let's go ahead and test the cargo fire. Everything works there, and our extinguisher lights come on. Tests pass. We're good there. Maybe I'll remember to check the radar again before takeoff. We'll see. We're going to go to TARA for our transponder, and we do have a squawk code from Auto ATC, which is 7416. All right, we do have a squawk code, and that's in there. Cool, that's loaded. And we're running down. Our trims are where we want them. They're fine where they are. I like it. We have TARA. Let's go ahead and test TCAS. Well, actually, let's verify that we have viruses aligned, which we do. So we'll test the TCAS. All right, we get the bars on the attitude indicator. We are getting traffic blips on our MFD. That's good.
TCAS test pass.
Cool, TCAS test pass. Let's go test the GPWS.
Glide slope. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
Cool. All right, so that works. And then lastly, we'll go up to the top and do our stall test number 2. All right, that one does work now. Love it. All right, let's go to the overhead panel. Let's get ourselves ready for pushback, which we're going to throw all the fuel pumps on. Let's see if we have anything in the center tank. Yes, we do. 2.5. So the center pumps are coming on today. Cool. We'll flip this over to Gen 1 so we monitor the generators on the engines when we start the engines. Cool. Fasten seatbelt signs are on. We can assume the passengers are loaded. Everything up here, window heat's still on, probe and anti-ice off. We will turn on the electric hydraulic pumps so we can do a flight control check once we get started. Cool. Come up and down here. The packs are going to be off for engine start. ISOL valve is open. Cool. Anti-collision light is coming on. That's the beacon because we are about to push back. We have 3 greens for the landing gear. Everything looks good up here. Cool. Let's go ahead and get ourselves prepared for pushback. I'm just going to go in the outside view here, ensure that the door is shut, despite the jet bridge being in a really weird position. Alright, cool. We are ready for pushback. Let's go to the FMC, FS actions, and let's get ourselves a pushback going. So let's do a standard L, and since we are taking off runway 22, we'll go to our electronic flight bag here, and we want the nose facing towards the right. So turn nose right, standard L, yep, good. We'll select a tug. And excellent, and once again I forgot to turn on the parking brake when I loaded the game, so we'll turn that on now.
Cockpit to ground.
And let's get ourselves a pushback.
Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our left. Roger that. Ready to push. Tail to the left. Park brakes off.
Yep. Brakes off. And we'll double check ATC, make sure no one's on the line, which it looks like they are not. Cool.
Brakes released, here we go.
Okay, and we do have traffic here at the airport, so we're going to look at See if there's a CTAF frequency available to us. Control tower 118.7, so we're going to tune that in here. One 118.7. Nope, that's 705. That's still 705. Cool. Alright, 118.7. There we go. Alright, now let's look up. We have enough space for engine start, so let's go ahead and do that. Engine number 2, ground ignition is coming on. And our N2 is rising. Well, hello there. Alright, we have 25% N2. Let's introduce fuel. And the oil pressure is rising.
Pushback complete. Parking brake, please.
The oil temp is rising and EGT is coming up as well. We'll set the parking brakes.
Brake set. Alright, steering pin is disconnected. Watch for the slip release from guide side or left. Have a good flight.
Oh, for some reason the reversers were on. That's weird. I must have accidentally ticked it backwards. I wondered why that noise was weird. Okay. Alright, engine 2 has a good start, so let's go ahead with engine 1 into ground. And we do have a Southwest aircraft coming right at us. Let's make sure he doesn't run into us. Hopefully he can take the taxiway. Let's see where we are. I might be blocking him, to be honest with you. Okay, nope, he's turning. Cool. N2 is 25%, introducing fuel. And I'm curious what kind of aircraft that guy is in today. Well, he's also on a 737-800, but I'm not getting the model match. Oh, he's on the wrong frequency. That's probably something to do with it. Yeah, he's still on 122.8. Didn't read it. Alright, we have a rise in oil pressure. The oil temp is normal. Oops, wrong one. Yep, oil temp is good. EGT is good. We have a pretty stable start on engine number 1. And I didn't accidentally bump them into reverse this time, so that's good. Alright, yaw damper's coming on, all our fuel pumps are on, cool, engine generators are all coming on, and we have positive charge indication, that's good. Probe heats are coming on, anti-ice we can leave off, we're pretty warm here at Houston Hobby, so no need. The packs can come back on, the ISOL valve to auto, APU bleed is coming off, and the APU is also coming off, cool. Alright, all of our lights are looking pretty extinguished. We're ready to go. Up on top, let's go down here. Auto brake is going to RTO. Flaps are going to 5. 1, 2, 3. Cool. We're going to check our flight controls. Right aileron and spoiler up, left aileron down. Left aileron and spoiler up, right aileron down. Elevator full forward. Elevator full aft. Rudder full right and rudder full left. Flight controls are free and correct. Look at that fogginess out there. Alright, cool. Now that's pretty good for us. We're going to turn our flight directors on before we're ready to taxi, just so I don't forget. And we're looking good. We'll go to our legs page, get that ready to go. And I think we are ready for taxi. Alright, cool. We'll turn the dome lights on so we can actually see outside. And taxi accordingly, and we're gonna check our taxiways here. So we're gonna take Zulu Yankee all the way to runway 22. It's not that far of a taxi, but that's what we're gonna take. Excellent. Let's get the taxi light on. Brakes are coming off, and we're ready to taxi. Hobby traffic, Southwest 4737 is at gate 51, going to be taking Zulu Yankee to runway 22 Hobby. And let's get ourselves on the roll. And we're looking at a bit of a left turn coming up here. Make sure we stay on Zulu. Relatively easy taxi, but being in low vis, you want to still pay attention at any cost. Just don't want to end up on the wrong taxiway. Alright. And a big old hello to my #1 viewer.
Hi.
Can always count on you to boost the views. Alright, and we're taking Zulu straight down. Alright, and Yankee's going to be on our right side, and Yankee is the lead into the runway, and I do not believe we have any traffic in the area. And since we are low vis, we're just going to confirm extra thoroughly that we are on the correct runway, and we are exactly where we want to be. So these hold short signs, the mandatory signs, are telling us we are on runway 22. Landing lights are coming on, runway turnoffs are coming on, strobes are going to come on. Oop. If I can get that, and wing inspection lights are coming on as well. Hobby traffic, Southwest 4737 is taking runway 22, going to be departing to the west. Hobby. Cool. Alright, we'll get those engines up to 40% and line up with the runway. Alright, I have runway 22, and the heading does agree. Cool. Alright, engines are stable. Toga.
Airspeed alive.
Okay.
80 knots.
Cross check. Rotate.
E2.
Lift that nose up nice and easy.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Alright, we're going to go 20 degrees nose up pitch, maintain wings level. We are already in very low conditions, which is just fine. Going to hand fly for just a second to get oriented, which is a-okay. Alright, that's 1,000 feet. We're going to bring the nose down to 15 degrees. Alright, 15 degrees. Let's go ahead and get our heading select on, and we will get our level change on as well, and we will engage the autopilot. Let's get the auto throttles armed, and our speed mode is being held for us. We'll do N1, level change. There we go. That's what I like to see. And we will raise the flaps on schedule per speed. Alright, flaps 1. And we are climbing. And flaps are up. Cool. And it looks like we are above the fog, which is really nice. Alright, we are going to go ahead and pull up our departure chart real quick, and we are going to go direct to retire. So let's go ahead and throw that direct to here, execute, put it on LNAV mode. And now we are going direct retire. And now that the gear is up, the auto brake can come off. The gear lever can go in the off position as well. And our FMC is telling us unable 280 knots at bunker, which I believe is part of the arrival, so we don't even have to worry about that right now. Yep, it looks like it's part of the arrival, so that's fine. We're going to go ahead and clear that again. And that just seems to have something to do with our cost index or our descent speed that we have set in the FMC, but we can change that as necessary throughout the flight. Alright, and yep, we are above the fog. Looking really ominous out there. That's pretty cool. Nice foggy departure. I feel like it would have been a cooler landing, but that's okay. Look at that. That beauty right there. And it looks like the fog is clearing out to the west where we are headed. The fog is pretty isolated towards the shoreline of the Gulf, and Houston International is VFR. Visibility is 7 miles, but that's not too bad. They are expecting the fog to roll in later, it looks like, but right now it's fog is pretty isolated to areas closer to the shoreline of the Gulf, which is good. We are flying away from that. That's cool. Alright, we are about to approach 10,000 feet, and then we will run our protocols. Alright, 10,000 feet. Turn off our landing lights. Runway turnoffs and taxi lights, and we will advise the flight attendants. Alright, wing inspection can come off because we are going to be out of icing conditions. We are currently plus 17 Celsius on the total air temperature, so we're not worried about icing right now. And now that we are above 10,000, we can go into VNAV and we will increase our speed per cost index. And we are looking good in the climb. Right above 18,000 feet, the altimeter is going to standard. Everything is looking good in the climb. Engine gauges are all indicating normal. Nothing's in the red. Sweet. Up, and we are at 0 on the center fuel. Ooh, excuse me. 0 on the center fuel tank, so the center fuel pumps are coming off. And we'll continue to get up to altitude.
Hi.
Hi. What's going on?
Not much. You in cruise yet?
Not yet. We got 18,000 feet to go.
Oh, look at all the fake stars.
They look pretty good, don't they?
Yeah.
Check it out. Little knife blade action.
Sweet, sweet.
You want to feel like you're in the plane?
Sure.
Let's see. Fix camera. Where is it? Oh yeah, there you go. You feel like you're in it now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Nice wing view.
Yeah.
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 All right. Forgot to do a heading sync. We'll go ahead and rip that in there. Only looking at about a 2-degree wind correction angle. Almost a straight on headwind, but it is only 30 knots right now. And we might increase the cruise speed just a little bit. And then our descent speed, yeah, we're going to be looking for better than 244 knots on the descent. We'll definitely have to do 280, because it does seem like, according to the FMC, there is speed restrictions on the arrival, and we like to follow those. So we'll go ahead and change this target speed, and we'll get it up to 280, and we can follow the arrival properly. But for now, we're finishing the climb, still monitoring all our gauges. Everything's looking good. And the air is pretty smooth and still, so seatbelt signs are likely to come off in cruise, and people can move about the cabin. Dance around, spread the arms, give yourself a good stretch. One thing I did forget to do was tune to en route Unicom, which is 122.8. And 1,000 to go. It's a little bit humorous to me that the 737 has an ADF. You would definitely never use this in the US anyway, unless you were in Alaska. ADFs are practically ancient at this point. Alright, and there we are, 38,000 feet. That is our cruise altitude. Just going to sit and watch the attitude indicator for just a second, see if we get any indications of rough air. Which it does not appear so. The plane is pretty stable, pretty straight and level, very little movement, so I think that that is seatbelt signs are coming off. Alright. Being currently in cruise, let's go ahead and just prepare for, okay. A little glitch in the EFB where when you switch from your departure to your arrival on the Navigraph chart page, it suddenly flips it to the home page, which I don't want. I think maybe it's trying to promote checking the weather, but I don't like how it just auto flips. It's not really what I want it to do. I just want to load up the arrival. We are doing the ping 1 RNAV, and we're coming from driver. And we are going to be passing over some terrain at the very beginning of the arrival, but then it really smooths out towards the end, so we should be good to go. Alright, after this turn is up, we will do a heading sync, and then we will enjoy our cruise for a little while. Top of descent is looking quite a distance away, 640 miles or more, so we got a little bit of a cruise ahead of us. And once this plane rolls out, we'll hit it with a heading sync and enjoy ourselves. Alright, well, there it is. We are in cruise. We're just going to kick back and relax for a little while, and then when time comes, we will prepare ourselves for the arrival and the approach, and go from there. But until then, kick back, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see if anyone joins. Alright, so we are direct to driver, which is the beginning of the arrival. So let's go ahead and get ourselves set up for that. First, we're going to take a peek at the weather and determine what runway we want to land on there. We're going to update that METAR. Cool. So the winds are 120 at 5. So let's look at the runways that are available to us. So 120, it looks like the 7s are being very much favored by the winds, so we're going to go to airport info here and just take a look at our runway lengths. So we're going to have to go back to our charts once again. So, yeah, it's looking a lot like the 7 left is probably going to be our most favorable runway, given the wind condition and where we want to park in the terminal. Let's go ahead and look at the parking gates here. So today we're going to Delta 17, which is on the south side here on this left corner. So we definitely want to land on 7 left, because that'll give us a pretty straightforward taxi over to the gate, and we'll be ready to go there. So we're going to pull the arrival back up. And that's ready to go, and let's go ahead and load here on the arrival page. Phoenix, looking at the ping 1, we're on the driver transition, we're going to do the ILS 7 left, and we'll do vectors to final, we will lead ourselves there. And we're going to go to our leg page and verify that everything looks exactly how it's supposed to, which it does. We are still direct to driver, there are no changes we have to make, so let's go ahead and execute it. Cool, everything's the same. We'll go ahead and do a heading sync. We have a straight headwind, so there's no wind correction angle. Cool. Alright, that's looking nice. So for the descent, we are expecting 280 knots for the bunker waypoint, and then ping 270, and we're going down from there. So since we do want 280 on our descent speed, we're going to override our cost index and put 280 knots over here in the speed. Good. We'll execute that. Excellent. Alright, cool. And then since we gonna double check that ATC is not online, and they are not, so we'll go ahead and vector ourselves to 7 left. Okay. So let's put up... Ooh. Excuse me. Let's pull up the approach plate for the ILS 7 left right here. Excellent, and we'll give ourselves a little bit of a brief here. So we'll zoom in. So the localizer frequency is 111.5. So we're going to put 111.5 in both of our nav radios. 111.5 active. Do the same for nav 2. Alright, now 111.5 is active on both of our nav radios, and our final approach course is 078, so we're going to set that in the course on the autopilot panel, if I could speak. 078. Oh wow, I went way past, I don't know what I was thinking there. The fatigue is setting in currently. Alright. Alright, so we have the ILS frequency, we have the final approach course. Zynga is our final approach fix, confirmed, and we want to be at 2,600 by that point. The decision altitude is 1326, which is good. We'll go back to that once we shoot this approach. Airport elevation 1135, that's consistent with what was on the OFP. Touchdown zone elevation is 1116. So we might be expecting a little bit of an upslope when we land on this runway. Alright. If we have to go mist, we're going to climb to 5,000, and then after 5,000 feet, we'll go left turn direct Papa X-ray Romeo VOR and hold, or is directed by ATC. And ATC is not online, so if for whatever reason we do go mist, we can expect the published mist. And that VOR is 115.6, so let's put that on our nav 1 on standby, just in case we do have to go mist. Cool. So yeah, 4,000 at foul, but I do think we're vectoring ourselves to final approach fix, so 2,600 at Zingo, which is good. The ILS minimums 1326 as confirmed as above. This is a visual of our missed approach, including, but we also have the runway approach lighting, which are Mausers. So there are no red terminating bars, so we'll be aware of that. And that's about it for the approach. Alright, so we'll go back to this arrival, or actually, correction. We should put those minimums in the aircraft. So 1326 is our minimums. We're going to be doing this for a hot minute. Alright, 1326 is set for our minimums on the PFD. Good. Excellent. And the last thing we'll do is we'll get our VREF speed. Let's go ahead and go to the performance tool. And we'll go landing en route. Phoenix Sky Harbor, we're going to want 7 left. And all of the info is there. The runway slope is 0.23, so we do have an upslope. Runway length is good, dry. We're going to import our aircraft details here. We're going to do a flap 30 landing as per usual. No reason not to. VREF add 5 is fine. And the weather, we'll import the weather at Phoenix right now. Cool. Calculate. And runway landing distance required is 5631. And our VREF is 144. So just to confirm, it doesn't entirely match with this, but that's fine. So we're going to do flaps 30, and our VREF is going to be 144. And we'll put that in our flap slash speed right here. Cool. Alright, so we have the ILS frequency set, the missed approach frequency set, the course 078 on both sides. Cool. We have our minimums and our VREF speed, and now we can go back to our charts, pull up the arrival that we were on, ping 1, there we go, and then if we are landing 7 left, we're going to Neely here, so the bottom altitude is 7,000 feet, so we're going to preset that. Okay. Fasten seatbelt signs are coming on because our descent is beginning shortly. And no visible moisture, no clouds or anything like that, so our anti-ice should be just fine to go. Our cabin pressurization is all looking good and everything too. Cabin pressure is a little bit on the higher side. Maybe because of the altitude at night, but it's not terrible. It's in the caution range, but it's not bad. Interesting. I've actually just noticed that for the first time. We'll have to monitor that in the future, but okay. But it is within limits, so that's fine. Crew oxygen is still above 15, right? Yep, cool. Alright. So we will begin our descent 20 miles to top of descent. That should still make the plane able to maintain 250 knots or less at 10,000. And then once we begin the descent, we will monitor it on the way down and bring ourselves into Phoenix Sky Harbor. Alright, and we're about 20 miles from top of descent, and so we're going to go ahead and begin our descent now, so the plane slows down in time by 10,000 feet. We'll go to descend now, execute, and we remembered our altitude, so this is going to work out just nicely for us. Cool. And may the descent process begin. Alright, so we're below 18,000 feet, so we're going to check the altimeter, and it is 29904. Alright. Easy enough. Pull it out of standard. Cool. And we're still looking at no ATC in the area, so we will be leading ourselves in, which is just fine. A-okay. We're looking pretty good coming in. We have our lateral path doing just fine following the arrival, and then our VNav is pretty centered. We are descending on schedule. We're looking good. We are coming up on 15,000 feet, so we're going to advise the flight attendants of final descent, so they can go up and down the aisles, collect everyone's trash, and get the cabin prepared for landing. Alright. And the aircraft is slowing down according to the arrival. We're expecting to hit 250 knots by Wigwam? I don't even know why I try to say some of these waypoints, but this one right here on the arrival, we're looking at 250 knots. It seems like our airspeed indicator is trying to do that by that waypoint, so we're looking good. We'll go ahead and reduce the range so we can see more, get a little more detail on this arrival as we come into the airport. I'm gonna see if I can't pick it up in sight off of our 1 to 2 o'clock, looking more 1 o'clock. The beam between the windows, I think, is preventing our vision, or it might just be close to us where it's behind just the entire panel up here. We'll get a little bit closer and we'll see. Nope, I can kind of see some blue stuff out here. I do believe that this one over here is a satellite airport. I think the main airport's here, getting just under the panel. Yeah, that looks like Phoenix Sky Harbor right there. So we do have it in sight. Well, did anyway. So I am debating on just running another visual, flying it by hand, and seeing if we can perform a much better landing than my last one. We're going to grab a weather update real quick just to make sure it's still current. We are clear of clouds. The winds are 080 at 7, so they're still favoring runway 7 left, which is just fine. We love it. Altimeter is still 29904, no need to change that. The dew point temperature spread is very, very far apart, so the air is dry. And look at that. Alright, we are configured to land, and we are doing really, really well. Alright. And once we get to the end of the arrival, which is the Neely waypoint, at 7,000 feet, we're going to descend down, and we'll begin a visual from there. 7,000 feet is a pretty high altitude to be at over here, but, you know, based off of the traffic that goes into Phoenix, I assume that is why it is 7,000 this far from the end of the runway. which is a-okay. We will deal with it as we need to. Alright. And now we are getting close to the airport. We're just about 20 miles away, so we'll switch over to the Phoenix CTAF, which is 120.9er. Still following our VNAV profile, which is good. We are coming up on 10,000 feet, so the landing lights are coming on, runway turnoff lights are coming on, taxi light will come on when we clear ourselves to land. Wing inspection lights can come on, although we're not expecting any icing conditions. We are already in the positives on total air temperature, so we should be just fine there. Alright, we're below 10,000 and the aircraft is going under 250 knots, which is good. I love to see that. Don't want to bust any speed restrictions. I could have sworn I seen a flashing light from over here. It looked like an airport beacon at first, but I could just be out of my mind. That's also very possible. Right, and we'll reduce the range on the MFD once again. Huh. Very interesting. It seems like at the current altitude we're at, the winds are calm. We do not have a wind indication on our MFD over here. That's really interesting. Weird. And it seems accurate because our magnetic heading is matching our track quite perfectly. So are the winds calm? I'm gonna say, yeah. Surprisingly, at 7,000 feet, winds are calm. And it looks like we are vectoring ourselves to fully. And what I think I'm going to do is, since we are visual, we are not in IFR conditions, I am going to descend down to 4,000 and we'll keep watching out the window, make sure we have no terrain or anything that we're expecting. Let's double check with the arrival here. We are clear of this terrain over here. What is the minimum safe altitude? I don't actually think there's one listed on this arrival. Oh, we got 6,100. So there is going to be some terrain to our left side, but as long as we keep ourselves pointed towards the lights and everything we can see, we can descend lower than 7,000, and then we can keep clear from hitting anything. So let's go ahead and we'll start slowly. We'll go at a descent rate of 1,000 feet per minute, and we're going to go to 4,000 feet. Because that's where we want to be at fully here, which is the beginning of the ILS. And we'll clear ourselves to land since there is no traffic and no ATC, so that taxi light is coming on. And confirm no traffic at Phoenix. So we're good there. Alright. So we are just going to vector ourselves towards the ILS. And then when we're about 6,000 feet, we'll make a right turn, or 6,100, we'll make that right turn to the intercept. We'll reduce the range on the MFD again. So 6,100, so let's go heading select, and let's bring ourselves perpendicular to the final approach course, which is 078, so, oh, my goodness. So we're looking at 358. No, that's incorrect, sorry. 348. Yeah, it doesn't seem correct. Or yeah, I'm sorry. 48 is correct because we are perpendicular now. Alright, let's get ourselves to that 30-degree intercept. We are going to reduce our speed to 200 knots so we can get the slats and flaps 5. We'll give ourselves a 30-degree intercept with a 048 heading. So the slats are going to come down. We're going to go ahead and arm the approach mode now because this is our intercept vector, and we can turn on Command B so we get a dual channel ILS. And we'll reduce speed to 190. And we'll get flaps 5. And we're looking at 7 left. And we are intercepting the localizer that's coming in. That intercept is looking good. We're a little bit on the right side, but the plane seems to know it and it's correcting for it, which is good. Once that glide slope intercept comes in, we are going to drop the gear. Glide slope intercept is coming in, so we're dropping the gear. And we'll get a heading sync just in case we have to go mist. And the mist approach is 5,000, so we're going to preset that. And that's looking good. So auto brakes are going to go to 3. We're going to arm the speed brakes since the gear is down. Cool. We're going to start slowing ourselves down. We're going to go to 170, flaps 15. Actually, we'll go to 165. Phoenix Sky Harbor traffic, southwest 4737 on a 7-mile final, runway 7 left, Phoenix. Cool. Forgot to make a 10-mile call, that's okay, we recovered, and then we will make a 5-mile final call momentarily. Alright, the aircraft is really slowing down, so let's go 150. And we'll go flaps 25. And will be fully configured by a 5-mile final. Alright, VRF is 144, we're going flaps 30. Phoenix Sky Harbor traffic, southwest 4737, 5-mile final, runway 7 left, Phoenix. Cool. Alright, I'm going to preset my throttle, and the auto throttle will take over. And we're slowing down a little much here, so we're going to add in a little extra throttle. Get rid of that alert. And we're visual from here. So let's disengage the autopilot and we'll fly it in by hand. We're pretty stable here, winds are calm. Just gonna keep it right where it should be. We're kind of going above the glide slope, so let's drop down just a little bit. Walk a little power out so we don't get too low. And then we'll pitch for speed. We're getting a little fast.
Traffic. Traffic.
Non-existent traffic at the field. Alright, glide slope's getting slightly above. We'll get back to it. Cool.
500.
Right where we need to be. And we're holding pretty steady here. Getting a little bit to the left side, so we'll correct for that.
Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Continue. And there is a 747 that's pink. Just randomly spawned in. Weird.
100.
Okay.
50. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, we kind of floated there. That's unfortunate. Okay. Cool. We've touched down. Our auto brakes are working. Our speed brakes are deployed, and we have 2 in reverse. So we'll slow down, maintain that center line. 80 knots. Thrust reversers coming out. We'll go to airport, get the airport diagram going here, and we will manually take over braking. And, oop, don't want to stop on the runway. And we did, oops. Was a little bit delayed on the throttle there. That's unfortunate. Alright, flaps are going up. Alright, let's look at the diagram here, and we're just going to take Echo to Delta 10. Oop, getting ahead of ourselves here. APU is going to come on. Oop, our throttles are very much up there. Trying to do a million things at once, not really working too well. We'll get the speed brakes down. Phoenix Sky Harbor traffic, southwest 4737 is clear of 7 left, taking Echo Delta 10 to the terminal, Phoenix. Lost my train of thought right there. Landing lights are coming off, runway turn off lights are off, strobes are off, wing inspection light is coming off as well. Cool. So we will go up here, turn our yaw damper off, our probe heats can come off. And we have no anti-ice on, so that's fine right there. Let's go ahead and turn left here. This is Delta 10, and our terminal is actually to the right side. Huh. Seems like there's an issue with the default scenery? Huh. Interesting. So I'm going into a gate right now that doesn't seem to exist on the default scenery. So we got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So the gate that I thought I was going to is apparently brand new since Microsoft 2020. So, alright. I guess we're just gonna find somewhere to park and roll with it. Seems like I always have some sort of trouble trying to get into the gate that I want to get into. I always base the gate that I park at off the real flight in real life, but it's either the gate's always taken or apparently the gate doesn't exist, whatever it might be. There's kind of a lot going on there. So we're just gonna park ourselves along this line right here and call it a night. Oh, trying not to go too fast here, but okay, following the line. And we're just going to keep our taxi lights on because this is default scenery and there's no lighting available to us. And we'll come to a stop here. Cool. Excellent. Alright, so let's go ahead and set the parking brake. We're going to get the APU gen on. And we're going to monitor and make sure we're getting positive charge with that, which we are. Cool. So now we can turn the engines off. Fasten seatbelt signs can go off as well since we are stopped. Below 20% N1, we can turn the beacon off. Alright, let's go ahead and do our flows real quick. The fuel pumps can all come off except for left forward. We're looking good on this side. Seatbelt signs are off, probe heats are off. We'll turn the window heats off as well since we're parked. Hydraulic pumps are coming off. Packs are on auto, ISOL valve is open, and APU bleed is coming on, and we'll get the temperature normalized again in the cabin. And we'll turn the dome light on so we can see since we are parked and don't need night vision anymore. Parking brakes on, fuel's cut off. We are looking good for a turnaround state. Alright, let's go ahead and get this jet bridge hooked up, and let's get our passengers deboarded. So we got chocks. We got a jetway connection. And hopefully this one doesn't go through our aircraft like it did for the departure out of Houston. Alright, the jet bridge is set and we can go ahead and try to open these doors. Keyword try because it doesn't seem to want to do it when you want it to. This EFB is a little bit slow. I almost prefer to use the FMC, so it took 3 clicks just to get the door to open so we could deboard the aircraft. Alright, taxi lights are off. I just realized they were still on, and we're looking good there. Alright, so there you have it. Welcome to Phoenix Sky Harbor from Houston Hobby, a real Southwest flight, typically on the 737-7 or 800, but tonight actually in real life it was done on a MAX 8. So yeah, there we have it, a nice Southwest ops. I finally got my CFII and I am super excited, and I wanted to stream and share that information with anyone who may be watching now or will be in the future. It feels really good. It feels like I'm finally starting to kick my career off, and there's nothing I love more than sharing my love for aviation and passing on knowledge and just, you know, building a community. So it feels good. and hopefully those who are also trying to make their careers are advancing the same way that I am. Never get discouraged. I faced a lot of bumps in the road throughout my flight training and a lot of setbacks, a lot of delays and so forth, but I stuck it all through, and now I have my CFII and I can get hired as an instructor to build hours for the airlines. Yeah. But this was my celebration stream. I had a good time. A little fun 737 flight down south. Southwest is one of my favorite airlines, actually. Not my favorite, not my number one, but up there. I love flying Southwest. Good people. A lot of southern hospitality. So, yeah, there you have it. Still waiting on Sim Update 1 for Flight Sim 2024. When that finally hits, we'll dive into career mode and see if anything is fixed, and if so, what is fixed and what still needs work, or what may have been broken by the update. If not, we'll just continue to do VATSIM flights. Maybe since I got my CFII, I might do another instrument training video just to see what's going on. Maybe give me some fun approaches, and I can try and talk my way through them as I'm doing them so you guys can follow along. And yeah. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the comments. I'm always looking for ideas. If you want to see me fly somewhere, or if you want to see some type of video, leave a comment, let me know. But that's all I got for tonight. Thanks for anyone who joined or is watching this in the future. I hope you guys have a good night, and until the next stream, take care. We'll see ya.